My dear sisters and brothers in Christ, thank you for allowing me to be part of this vocation reflection organized by the Focolare for the young people of Asia through the webinar. Yeah, and you are quite daring, huh? You are focusing on vocation, the calling that we receive from God. And I say daring because not many people, especially among the young, would be interested in such a topic. I know deep in their hearts they want to pursue that question, but maybe some are quite embarrassed to even bring up the topic. But in a context like this, it is quite legitimate for us to reflect on this. And I would like to share with you some responses to the questions that have reached me. But I am warning you, what I will share is not the only word and definitely not the last word. During your interaction with the various people, you will see that God calls us as we are. And so there is no recipe. There is no fixed recipe. So each one could share from his or her own experience how the calling of God got clarified for them, and also how they were able to respond to that calling. When we talk of vocation, based on the recently concluded Synod of Bishops on the youth, it is clear that the word vocation should not be limited to priesthood and religious life. No. So the Synod of Bishops has recovered the wider understanding of the word vocation. Everyone is being called. There is a fundamental calling which everyone shares, and it is discipleship, to follow Christ. And you follow Christ in different paths. And so when we're talking about vocation, even in this webinar, we are not limiting the word to just seminary life, priesthood, and religious life. But if some of you are thinking of that or are open to priesthood and religious life, well, thank you, thank you. Now, the first question that has reached me is this: can you give 3 keywords that can guide us in making choices in life? Yeah, there are many keywords, but you want 3. Wow, very Trinitarian, huh? Okay, so let me try. The first keyword is honesty. Honesty to self, which requires a bit of knowledge of self. Yeah. Knowing yourself. This is important. As I said earlier, God calls us as we are, and God knows who we are, and God knows whom He is calling. But do we know who we are? This is important in making any choice in life. Getting in touch with your real self, knowing your giftedness, knowing your talents, knowing also the gift called weakness. You know, we seldom disdain limitations and weaknesses, but they're also a gift. Imagine if your nose doesn't have any limit. It will go up there. Thanks to God, there is a limit to your nose. It's up to here. So even that, no? Don't be afraid to face your limitations, your weaknesses. Who are you? Who are you? And remember the choice of life which God is calling you to, the direction of life, is meant for you as you are and not as somebody else. Okay, so that's the first. The second key word is purpose in life. Knowing yourself, now I ask a deeper question. Do you also know the purpose of your life? It may sound like an overused word or a question, but it is one thing that we sometimes ignore and very often misunderstood. The purpose of life. Don't tell me that watching a movie is the purpose of your life. Don't tell me that having a good meal is the purpose of your life. These are all good things, but are they the purpose of your life? Having the latest gadget, the latest model of a cell phone, is that the purpose of your life? I am asking this, and I'm sure you're saying no, no, no. But it is good to be reminded, because we are bombarded by different messages, various messages that tend to confuse purpose in life and the paths to the purpose in life. Sadly, because of the confusion, we even lose the energy to search for the true meaning of life. When I was a young boy in catechetical classes, we were told that the purpose of life, the purpose of our being created, is to know God, to love God, and to serve God. That's the purpose. Life was given for that. And you will discover life if I make as my goal every day, an ultimate goal, the knowledge of God, the love of God, and the service of God. I know it is somewhere there, but often buried by layer upon layer of different other wishes, desires, that we confuse as the purpose of life. And then we are bombarded, as I said earlier, with different suggestions, which are presented to us as the purpose of life. And so I think it is important for people making a choice, regarding the choice of a state of life, to be very clear, what is the purpose of your life? And the third is choosing the options, being clear about the options meant for you to achieve the purpose. So we have a common purpose in life, but because we are different individuals, and God knows that we are different from each other, then the third is, what is the path for you? For you, not for others. For you to reach your purpose. There are many different paths. Some probably can know, love, and serve God as a nurse. Some could reach that purpose of life as a doctor. Some maybe as a politician. Some as engineers. Some as a good husband or a good wife. Some by being a religious man or woman. Some by becoming a priest. But those are paths to achieving the same purpose. And so in all of us, God is glorified. Now, those are, based on my experience, some of the key things to be clarified. No? And after clarifying my purpose in life and knowing who I am, then I wonder, what is the path for me? Some people might say, "Oh, I could be this. I could be this. I could be that." They have different choices in front of them, different paths to pursue. Then you can weigh things, weigh things, knowing who you are and being clear about the purpose. Then you can look at each choice and say, what are the pros and cons? What are the pluses and the minuses? And then you will, with God's grace, see God's hand guiding you. This is the choice that I would prefer for you. Of course, we are left free. That's why it's called a choice. But it is a response. It is a response to God's gift. God's gift of yourself and God's gift of purpose. And there are many, many paths to reach the purpose. I hope I'm not confusing you with this presentation. That's my sharing regarding the first question. The second question goes like this. We would like to take seriously our choices for the future. At the same time, we know that other people who have the wisdom, expertise, and experience can really help us in our life's journey. How to strike a balance between making our choice and asking for others' help? This is a good question, and I'm sure not only the young people, but even the not so young ask the same thing, but most of all the young people. Now you're asking about how to strike a balance between making your own choice and asking for somebody else's help. So it is almost like this tension between independence and belongingness, or what other would call independence and intimacy. My self assertion against my need of others. Well, when it comes to making or discerning God's will for me, which hopefully will be my choice of life, the balance here means you need both. We need both. Not only when you are young, but maybe most especially when you are young. Let us purify our thinking. Let us not make the two fight. Let us not make making a personal choice the enemy of asking the help of other people. Let us not make the two contrary to each other. Why? For the very basic reason that each one of us, cannot give to ourselves all our needs. From the time we were conceived in the wombs of our mother, we depended on others in order to grow in who we are. After being born, a baby that is born cannot say, "Leave me alone, I can manage my life." No, no. For that baby to grow into a pleasing personality, that baby needs the assistance of so many people, preparing his or her food, etc., teaching them. It's the rule of life. We discover who we are and what we are meant to be in our relationship with others. There are many things in life that we receive. And having received them, we make them our own. We personalize them. And so that's what the wisdom, the expertise, and the help of other people could do to us. If we receive them as gifts, as help, then they are not contrary to your process of making a choice in life. In fact, In fact, their cumulative wisdom could even help you see some things that probably on your own you cannot see. But having said that, we also have to establish the fact that while I welcome the help of other people, I myself must have the courage to make a decision that I assume and not blame others for. That is not anymore relying on others for help. It is passing on the responsibility to them, and if something goes wrong, then I spare myself of the guilt and I blame them. That's not how it works. No, we are surrounded by many wonderful people with their help, with their wisdom. We listen to them, we make them our own, and in the intimacy of our hearts, in the interior part of our hearts where we're intimately connected with God, then you make a choice. But that choice is yours. But your decision was reached because of the help of many, many people. So that is the balance that you're talking about. Have both of them, not choose one against the other. Have both of them, and let both of them affirm each other. As you listen to others, you affirm their wisdom. But as you affirm their wisdom, you affirm also your need to be responsible, to make your personal choice, which has ripened because you have received their gifts. Okay, so these are a few things that I would like to share with you. I'm sure with your interaction among yourselves and your interaction with the other guides that you have, you will be able to expand the horizon and hopefully take the path towards making your choices in life based on the purpose of life which God has given to us in creating us. So God bless you, and thank you for this opportunity to share with you.